Hello clarinets, and thank you for joining me for lesson 8. Today we will go through all of the usual things like assembling our clarinets, our embouchures and our tonguing. We're going to revise the notes G to C and how these look on the stave, and we're going to learn a brand new piece called La Fiesta and a new technique called crescendo. Let's just make sure that our bodies are ready to make music. So first things first, let's start from the head up. So can you please tilt your head to one side? And then the other side. And the other side. And the other side. Great. Next thing, can you bring your shoulders up to your ears, up and down. And let's roll them forward 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Very, very good. Okay. Next up, let's get our arms ready. So can we please bring our arm in front and bring it across your body? And now bring it back behind your head. And if you can, try and reach your hand round to the back like that. Great, hands back down. And let's do the other side, so hand out in front and across. And behind you. And if you can, try and reach round and bind the hands together. Great. Next thing, let's shrug our shoulders up again. Up and drop and up and drop. Excellent. Next thing, I want you to bring your hand out in front of you like you're saying stop, and you're going to bring your other hand in front and you're going to gently pull the top fingers back. If it's hurting, you're doing it too hard, so just relax a little bit if it's aching. And then flop it down and pull it back the other way. And the other hand, stop. Bring your hands back. And the other way. Okay, let's try rotating wrists. And in the other way. Make a good shake. Great. And then we should just have zombie arms like this. And shake. And then zombie arms. You should be able to feel all the blood tingling to the tips of your fingers. That means your fingers are going to be ready to start playing really, really fast notes when we play our clarinets like this. Okay, really good. Right, let's just do some fists and stars and jazz hands. And fists, stars, really stretch them out. Jazz hands and fists. Excellent. Right, now bring them together in a prayer and push down the fleshy palm bit here. Try and push it down. And then the other way. Give them a good old shake again. Excellent. Now roll your shoulders back 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And the last time we're going to raise our shoulders up to our ears. We're going to take in a deep breath when we bring our shoulders up. And then we're going to breathe out through our mouths and we're going to shoot our shoulders back and down. Okay, so here we go. Deep breath in. Shoulders back and drop. And one more time. One last time. We're going to try and completely empty out our lungs of any air when we do our deep breath out. Here we go. In. Excellent. Now when we play, we want to try and keep our shoulders nice and open like this and our backs nice and straight like this. Very well done. Let's put our clarinets together. So first things first, take your reed case and take your reed out of your reed case. Put your reed into your mouth. I'm not going to keep my reed in my mouth while we do this, just so I can tell you how we assemble our clarinets. So first off, let's start off with our bell. So can you take your bell, and can you please put the bell onto the bottom joint? Once you've done that, please can you take your top joint and press down on the button. That will make this bottom rod move, and we need to make sure that it is open rather than closed. If it is closed when we put the clarinet together, this is going to bend. If it is open, it's going to be absolutely fine. So now let's do a quarter twist to put these two bits together. And you can see all of the holes are facing the front, and the really delicate rod is together there. Now I'm going to put my clarinet to one side, and I'm going to assemble my mouthpiece, my reed, and my barrel. So first off, please can you take your mouthpiece, take your ligature off, so your cap off, and your ligature off, and then please can you put your mouthpiece onto your barrel. Now we're going to get the flat piece of our mouthpiece to line up with the flat piece of our reed. So I put the two together, I align it perfectly, take my ligature and bring the ligature down. Just remember, it needs to be perfectly aligned and in exactly the right place. This is too low, it won't make a sound. This is too high. Can you see it's poking up over the top? It won't make a sound. And this one is not straight, it won't make a sound. The only way it will make a sound is if the reed is perfectly in alignment and it's held together. It will now make a sound. So then once you've done that, please can you put your cap onto the mouthpiece and put the mouthpiece to one side. Let's make sure that our embouchure is ready to play. So let's get our fingers and put our fingers between our teeth. Excellent, both lips over both sets of teeth. Very good. Next thing, just your bottom lip over your bottom teeth, top teeth come down onto the top of your finger. Very good. Next step, we need to seal it, because if we play like this, it's not going to make any sound on our clarinet. So finger in, bottom lip, finger, teeth, seal. Now let me demonstrate that on my clarinet. Bottom lip, reed, teeth, seal. It still doesn't make a sound because now I need to smile and flatten my chin. So bottom lip, finger, teeth, seal, smile and chin. Now let's see if we can do that with our clarinet. So bottom lip, reed on the bottom lip, top teeth down, seal, smile and chin. Repeat that after me. Me. Very good. Let's just make sure that our tongues are warmed up now. So can you put your mouthpiece into your mouth? And you're just going to warm up, making sure that your tongue is tapping the top of your reed like this. Great. Next thing, we're just going to produce a little bit of air down the mouthpiece and introduce the tongue. And you should be able to hear a sound that sounds a little bit like a choo-choo train. Once you can do that, let's try making these sounds again, making sure that we start off with a really aggressive tongue to begin with. Me. Great. As we get more advanced on our clarinets, we can start to make our tongue a little bit less aggressive. But to begin with, I would like more aggressive tongue than weak tongues like this. Okay, so really, really go for your tongues. Very, very well done. Before we start playing our clarinets, let's make sure that we know how all of our notes look on the stave. So let's get our staves at the ready, lines 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Our first note that we've got on this page is an E because that's the first note that we learn. The next note is one step higher, so therefore we go round the musical alphabet this way. So this next note must be the note F. Please take 8 seconds to figure out the other 6 notes. Off you go. Here are the answers. E, F, D, F, E, D, C, F. Take 10 seconds now to figure out how many fingers you need for each of those notes. Here are the answers. Let's take our bodies of our clarinets now so that we can mime all of these notes. So the first note that we've got, remember all of these notes we need our thumb on the back because the highest note is an F. So our first note here is an E and it's telling me I need one finger. Then we move on to an F, which is just your thumb, then a D, which is 1, 2 fingers, then F, which is just our thumb, then E, which is 1 finger, D, which is 2 fingers, C, which is 3 fingers, and then F is back to just our thumbs. Right, if you need to pause the video and do any of that again, then please do. If you're ready to put your clarinet together and play with me, then let's get our mouthpieces and barrels, take the caps off. Let's make sure that our reed is in line with the exclamation mark key at the back. So I'm going to put the barrel onto my knee, hold onto the barrel and push down like that. Okay, so let's just warm up with some long G's this time. So I'm going to do a 4-note G and then I'd like you to repeat it back to me. Remember, for a G, all I do is I balance my clarinet on my right hand thumb. Here I go. You. Me. You. Very good. This time we're going to play lots and lots of different types of G, and the first G that we're going to play is one imagining that there's a baby sat next to us and we don't want to wake them up, okay? So me, then you. 1, 2, 3, 4. You. 1, 2, 3, go. Good. Me, I'm going to do it even quieter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you, 3, 4. Very, very good, guys. Well done. This time, over the course of the G, can you imagine that it's like you're turning up the volume of the telly? So imagine this is the telly turning up dial. Listen to me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now you. 2, 3, 4. Good. Me, here I go. Now you, 3, 4. Very good. This time I want you to imagine that your best mate is across the other side of a football pitch and you need to try and get their attention. So you need to play as loud as you possibly can. Me, then you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, now you. Very, very good. Well done. Now let's imagine that our clarinets are really, really loud and then we're going to turn down the volume. So me, then you. Here I go. Now you, 3, 4. Very, very good, guys. Well done. Next thing, can we work on our tongues? So let's do our 3 tongue techniques, but let's do them on a G. So first one is going to be our lazy tongues, and let's do them at a piano dynamic. So a quiet sound. Imagine that the baby's in the room with a lazy tongue. Me, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, now you. Very good. This time, let's do our accent tongues, and we're going to imagine that our best mate is on the other side of a football pitch. So really loud, really hard tongue. Me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you, 3, 4. Very good. And our final one, we're going to do staccato. So imagine that we're turning up the volume of our telly, and these are hot potato notes. So it sounds like this. Now, you, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, fantastic, guys. Very, very well done. Okay, can we have a look at our new piece? This is called La Fiesta, and I think you're going to really, really enjoy this one. It's 2 pages long. Today we're just going to look at the first page, and this is the second page. But don't worry, lots of it is repeated, and it doesn't look as difficult as it looks. So let's just have a look at the first line. And yes, you are right, the first thing that we need to do is do our kadai signs. So the first one we've got is a ta, then we change to a mu, which is here. And then again, we have another mu again, and then we've got a tu. So we've got ta, ta, mu, tu. And then can you see here, it's exactly the same kadai sounds. Let's jump down to the next line. Again, we've got ta, ta, mu. Then instead of just 1 2 in this bar, we've got 2 2s in this bar. Then we've got 1 ta, and then rest is rests. Okay, so let's give this a go. Just say the kadai sounds. Ready? 1 2 3 4. Ta, ta, mu. 2 ta ta, 2 ta ta, 2 2 ta. Very good, guys. Well done. If you need to freeze the video to go over any of that, then please do. Can we play all of that rhythm, please, on our note G? Now, we've been talking about G since we started playing the clarinets, because remember, this is our easiest note that we need to play. But G, and I'm just going to show you this finger chart here to help you out. These are all of the notes that we're going to be playing today. And G, as you can see, has got no black dots in it, so it means you don't cover any holes. And G is the highest note that we've played so far, and it sits on the second line on the G clef. It's called the G clef because have a look at the bottom here. Can you see where this red circle is? That is where the G clef starts, and it starts on the second line, and that's why it's called the G clef, because it tells us that G is on the second line. So G's are the most important notes, okay? This is on the second line. We also know that it's a G because it's 1 step higher than an F. So let's play this whole thing on the note G. So just me, here I go, and I'm going to exaggerate all of my staccato notes. Remember, my staccato notes are the ones with the dots under them. So here I go. 1 2, just me. Can you please play that to me just on a G? So rest your clarinet on your thumb rest in the right hand. Here we go. 1 2 3 4. G G G G G G G G G G. Very good, guys. Well done. So we've got the kadai sounds and we've got our articulation correct. Remember, articulation is the way that we play the notes. So next thing we need to do is we need to figure out all of the notes. So this must be a G because it's on the second line, and as we know that we're playing on the G clef, so we know that G is on the second line. This note is 1 step lower, so find 1 step lower than G, it's an F. So we've got F's, G, F. Here is 1 step lower than an F, so we go round again, that's an E. This one is 1 step lower than an E, so around we go again, is a D. Then we jump back up from a D to a G, and then we step back down to an F, and then the last note that we've got is a D. So can we please say the notes all together after 4? 1 2 3 4. F, F. Mu, mu, G, F, F, mu, mu, E, D, D, mu, G, F, D. Great. Let's try saying and miming this time. Here we go. So just our thumbs on the back for an F. 1 2 3 4. F, F, mu, mu, G, F, F. E, D, D, G, F, D. Very very good. Now when we play a G, sometimes I exaggerate by taking my whole hand away, but now we're getting better on our clarinets. We're playing notes that are a bit faster, so we haven't really got time to go like this. So just move, this is what my hand is like when I play a G. My hands are hovering near the notes. If they're like this, it's going to take me a lot longer to get to the notes, whereas if they're hovering like this, I can play the notes very, very quickly, and I can move my fingers only a tiny bit, so it's only using a little bit of energy. Okay, right, I'm going to play the whole of those 2 lines, and then I would like you to please play them back to me. Here I go. 1, 2, just me. 2, 3, 4. Now you on an F. G, F, F, E, D, D, G, F, D. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next we need to just remember that we've got a repeat at the end of this. Okay, so I'm going to play the whole thing to you again with the repeat, and then I want you to play it back to me with the repeat. So here I go from the very beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Repeat back to the beginning. 4. Now you, off you go. F, F, 3, 4, 1, 2, G, F, F. E, D, D, G, F, D. Now back to the beginning. F, F. G, F, F. E, D, D. C, F, D. Very good. Next thing, let's have a go at just playing the notes E, F, and then D. So we've got E for 4 beats, F for 4 beats, then D. Let's just say mime at once. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, F, D. Can you try playing it? Me, then you. Here I go. Now you. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, F, D. Very good. Now you can see underneath the notes that we've got lots and lots of different symbols, and we've actually already played this today, but you might not have realised. So P, this is all about talking about our dynamics, okay? So dynamics mean the volume of the music, so that tells us how quiet or loud we should be playing. P stands for piano and means quiet. F stands for forte and means loud. So this note here needs to sound as if you are playing next to a baby. So can we try all of the notes at a piano dynamic? Me, then you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Off you go. 3, 4. E, F, D. Great. Now this note here is forte, which means loud, and that's the one where we were playing earlier, where imagine that your best mate is the other side of the football pitch and you need to get their attention. So me, then you. Big breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you, off you go. 2, 3, 4. Very good. The next one, this symbol means gradually getting louder, and you might have seen this kind of thing in maths where it means this side is less than this side. So the fancy Italian term for this is crescendo, but we always say it like this: crescendo. And that means when we say it, we get gradually louder and louder. So it's going to help us to remind ourselves. So we need to start off the note here as if we've got a baby next to us, gradually get louder. And then by this note here, we need to get the attention of our mate that's the other side of a football pitch. So me, then you. Now you, off you go. And you will remember at the start of the lesson, we were doing things like pretending that we're turning up the volume on the telly. This is exactly the same thing. So one more time, starting off on the E, imagine that the volume of the telly is right down at the bottom. And then by the time that you get to the D, the volume is right up to the top. Me, then you. Now you, off you go. Great, and the final thing that we need to see is, can you see this tiny little arrow? It's like the opposite way of our crescendo. This is called an accent. If this was stretched out, it would mean something different, but because it's only covering the one bit of the note, it means that we accent. An accent is when we were doing our really, really aggressive tongues earlier. It's like you're giving the note a kick. Now, when I was learning music, my music teacher told me that it looks a bit like a crocodile's mouth. So I need to imagine that I'm biting on the note, okay? But don't actually bite because you won't be able to make a sound. But imagine that it's the force of a crocodile's jaw, okay? So this is all of it together. Can you try that? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. And then can you see here, it's exactly the same thing. Right, we're going to play the whole thing with me. Remember that we've got our repeat here as well. Okay, so let's get ourselves all set up. So our first note is an F, so we just need our thumb at the back. Lip, read, teeth, seal, smile and chin. Get those cheeks in. Here we go. Excellent, everybody. Well done. Let's have a look at the second page because this is what I want you to do for your homework. So you might be able to spot some bars that have got very, very similar patterns to before. I'd really, really love it if you could practice this page to make sure that this is all 100% perfect with all the articulation and the dynamics. And then for the second page, I want you to try and see if you can figure out the notes, okay? So very, very well done for today. You need to make sure that you're practicing your tongue on the mouthpiece and barrel. Make sure you're doing your lazy tonguing, your accent tonguing, and your staccato tonguing. I want you to perform page 1 of La Fiesta to somebody. Practice in front of the mirror to check your fingers are probably covering the holes, not like this, but like this, that your cheeks are in, that you're holding your cheeks as well. That will help you. Play a quieter dynamic, which will use less air, so it will mean that you won't squeak. And you can also practice your tonguing away from your clarinet at any time, so just by going like this. Let's now take our clarinets apart. So first things first, take off your reed, put your reed into the reed case, and put into your case. Next thing, take off the barrel and mouthpiece, get your cleaning cloth, follow the path of gravity by dropping the weight into the mouthpiece and pulling through. Do it 2 more times. Next, ligature off, take apart the mouthpiece and barrel, ligature back on, and cap back on. And then put this into your case as well, and your barrel into your case. Next thing, bell off, put your bell into the case. Follow the path of gravity, drop the cleaning cloth weight into the top of the top joint and pull it through. And do it 2 more times. Then press onto the nose and do a quarter twist to take your top and bottom joints apart and put them into your case. Let's tidy up our cleaning cloths and put this into your case. Please make sure that you've done up both zips and make sure that your clarinet is stored somewhere very, very safe. So that could be under your bed, on your desk. It needs to be out of reach from any brothers and sisters. It should not be kept by a radiator or by anywhere that's very cold, and it must not get wet. Also, make sure that you keep it somewhere that you're going to remember to do your 4 practice sessions a week. I would strongly recommend at least one of those practice sessions a week is with me in one of our videos. Really, really well done for today, everybody, and I will see you in another clarinet video very, very soon.